Here's a strange question. What does IKEA actually sell? Furniture, obviously. Except, not really. When you buy a bookcase from IKEA, what you actually receive is a heavy flat box of raw panels, a bag of screws, and a wordless comic strip of instructions. The furniture doesn't exist yet. You will build it on your living room floor on a Saturday, possibly while arguing with someone you love. The world's largest furniture company has quietly recruited the largest unpaid workforce in human history, its own customers. And the genius part, you don't just tolerate the work, it makes you love the product more, and science has proven it. Today, the beautifully weird machine that is IKEA. 45 billion euros a year, one maze at a time. This is the money atlas. Quick thing before we dig in. If you enjoy stories that make the world make sense, subscribing is the best way to see the next one, and it costs you nothing. All right, let's get into it. First, the scale. IKEA sells about 44.6 billion euros of furniture a year, through more than 400 giant blue boxes across 31 countries. It consumes roughly 1% of all the commercial wood on the planet. One company. 1% of the world's wood. And it was started in 1943 by a 17-year-old Swedish farm boy named Ingvar Kamprad, who began by selling pens and seeds by mail, and who remained so famously cheap that as a billionaire he flew economy, drove an old Volvo, and pocketed the salt packets from restaurants. That obsession with cost, pathological, lifelong, is the DNA of everything that follows. The founding miracle happened in 1956 in a parking lot. An IKEA employee named Gillis Lundgren was trying to fit a table into a car, and it wouldn't go, so he sawed the legs off. In that moment, the entire economics of furniture changed. Because Lundgren had discovered the industry's invisible enemy, air. A finished table is mostly empty space. You pay to ship air, warehouse air, and let air ride in trucks across continents. Flatten the table into a box, and suddenly one truck carries what used to need 6. Shipping costs collapse. Warehouse costs collapse, and the final assembly, that cost didn't disappear, it was transferred to you. And that transfer is the core of the business model. Every IKEA customer is an outsourced factory worker, completing the last stage of production for free. Millions of living rooms every weekend worldwide, the biggest assembly line ever created, with 0 wages, 0 unions, and 0 sick days. A consultant would have warned that customers would hate it. Customers should hate it. And here's where IKEA got impossibly lucky, or impossibly clever. Because in 2011, researchers at Harvard discovered something hilarious about the human brain. They called it, literally, the IKEA effect. In controlled experiments, people who assembled a product themselves valued it dramatically higher than identical pre-built items, and were willing to pay more for their own wobbly handiwork. The labor is the loyalty. That bookcase isn't just furniture, it's your victory over an Allen key. IKEA's greatest cost-saving trick, making you do the work, accidentally doubles as its greatest marketing trick. You can't feel proud of a couch you bought. You can absolutely feel proud of a Billy you built. Speaking of which, meet the best-selling bookcase in history, the Billy. Over 140 million sold, one every 5 seconds, somewhere on Earth right now. And Billy reveals IKEA's second deep secret. It designs products backwards. Normal companies design a product, add up costs, then set the price. IKEA starts with the price tag, say, $49, and then engineers a bookcase that can be profitably made for it. The sawmill's efficiency, the box's dimensions, even how panels nest inside a shipping container, all decided before the bookcase looks like anything. They call it democratic design. It's really price archaeology. Dig until the product appears. All of it radiating from Älmhult, a Swedish village of 10,000 people where IKEA still designs everything. The name itself is pure Kamprad frugality. His initials, his family farm Älmhult and his village Älmhult, IKEA. No branding agency, no focus groups, just a farm boy's monogram now stamped on more than 400 stores across 31 countries. But knowing how IKEA saves money only explains half the empire. The other half is how it extracts money. And that story is a building with no windows and one very specific walking path. Every IKEA store is a maze by design, one long, winding, mandatory path through every single department. You came for a desk lamp. The building makes sure you walk past bedrooms, kitchens, sofas, and 400 impulse items before you escape. Retail scientists call the effect disorientation-driven buying. Lose track of the exit, and the cart fills itself. The showrooms aren't displays. They're theater sets of lives slightly nicer than yours, the tidy apartment, the organized kitchen, each one whispering that the life is purchasable, one flat box at a time. And at the exact center of the maze, IKEA placed its most brilliant trap. It smells like gravy. 1.4 billion meatballs a year. The IKEA restaurant serves more food than most global fast food chains, over 2.5 billion euros of it, and it loses potential profit on purpose, selling meals near cost. Kamprad's reasoning was pure psychology. It's hard to do business with someone on an empty stomach. A hungry shopper rushes, a fed shopper wanders. Sound familiar? It's the Costco hot dog wearing lingonberry sauce. The cheap meal isn't food. It's a pause button that keeps you in the maze, and a memory that makes the whole trip feel like a day out instead of an errand. Now for the part almost nobody knows. Who actually owns IKEA? Technically, a charity. The stores you shop in belong to the IKEA Group, which is owned by a Dutch foundation, on paper among the richest foundations in the world. But the IKEA brand itself belongs to a separate company, IKEA, sitting under a foundation in Liechtenstein. Every franchisee, including IKEA itself, pays 3% of every sale as a royalty for using the name. It's a structure so intricate that tax authorities across Europe have spent decades studying it. A flat-pack corporate design, if you will. Simple pieces, bafflingly assembled, remarkably efficient. So how does IKEA actually make money? By refusing to sell what it appears to sell. It doesn't sell furniture. It sells flat boxes optimized for trucks. It doesn't sell products. It sells a maze that manufactures desire. It doesn't sell meals. It sells time spent inside the machine. And most brilliantly, it doesn't sell convenience. It sells you your own labor, rebranded as satisfaction, and Harvard proved you'll pay extra for it. Every company in this series sells something invisible. IKEA invisible product might be the strangest one yet. The feeling that you built your own life for 30% less. A sawed-off table leg, a Harvard-certified brain glitch, a billion meatballs, and a charity that owns a furniture empire. 5 stories in, the pattern should be visible now. The biggest money is never in the product, it's in the system wrapped around it. If these stories are sharpening how you see the world, do 3 quick things. Tap like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. There's a long map ahead. And next time we ask how Tokyo went from the most expensive city on Earth to cheaper than Ohio. All the sources are in the description. This has been the Money Atlas. See you in the next one.